Okay, so some of you have shared concerns about a loved one on the autism spectrum transitioning to adulthood, and
Hmm.
you're looking for guidance and maybe some hope too, right?
Of course, yeah.
Well, you're in the right place. We're doing a deep dive today into cheap ABA, navigating the transition to adulthood for autistic young adults.
Okay.
And let me tell you, this source doesn't sugarcoat things.
Right.
It dives right into this thing they call the aging out cliff.
Yeah, which is a pretty apt description, actually.
Is it?
Imagine this. Your child has been receiving support under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act.
Right, idea.
IDEA, exactly. It's been a lifeline,
Yeah,
providing structure and resources throughout their school years.
right.
Then, bam, they turn 21 or 22,
Oh,
and
no.
that support vanishes. It's a massive shift
Yeah.
that can leave families feeling like they're standing at the edge of a cliff.
It's no wonder families feel panicked.
Right.
It's like the rug gets pulled out from under them just when things were starting to click.
Yeah.
This source really brings that sense of urgency to light,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's something we need to talk more about.
Absolutely.
But instead of dwelling on the problem,
Yeah.
they offer a really practical solution,
Okay.
early intervention.
They can't stress enough how important it is to start transition planning by age 16, maybe even sooner.
Wow, 16.
And it makes sense if you think about it.
Okay.
You're not cramming everything into the last minute before that IDA cliff hits.
Right.
Instead, you're building a roadmap together,
Okay.
step by step,
Mm-hmm.
long before the pressure's on.
Right. It's like planning a cross-country road trip
Yeah.
instead of just hopping in the car and hoping for the best.
Yeah, you
You need to map out your route, figure out where you're going to stop along the way,
Yes,
make sure you've got all your supplies.
exactly.
Speaking of supplies, the source mentions this Autism Speaks Transition Toolkit
Oh, yes.
as a valuable resource.
Yes.
Have you come across that before?
Oh, absolutely. I always recommend it to families.
Really?
It's a gold mine of information.
Okay.
It's got checklists, legal rights info,
Wow.
even personalized planning templates.
Oh, wow.
It can feel overwhelming at first,
Yeah, I bet.
but having a structured toolkit like that can make all the difference.
And the best part is it's completely free
Yes.
and readily available on the Autism Speaks website. But, sometimes it helps to hear how these things actually play out in real life.
Sure.
And that's where Glenn's story in this source really got me.
Glenn's story is a perfect example of how families can get creative and find solutions that truly meet their loved one's needs. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach here.
Right. So Glenn's family, they were facing that same aging out cliff, right?
They were.
But instead of panicking,
Yeah.
they thought outside the box
Mm.
and found a shared living situation for Glenn
Right.
with a dedicated caregiver.
Exactly.
It's like a more personalized group home setting.
Exactly. They understood that Glenn thrived in a structured environment,
Okay.
but still craved independence and connection.
Right.
And here's the thing.
Okay.
They managed to secure state funding
Yeah.
for this arrangement. Many families don't even realize that's a possibility.
It's like finding a hidden treasure chest.
Right.
But I imagine navigating those funding options can feel like a maze.
Oh, absolutely.
I know it'd be lost. Any tips for our listener on where to even begin?
Absolutely. First off,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to ask for help.
Okay.
There are organizations
Right.
like
Yes.
Autism Speaks
Mm-hmm.
that have tons of resources
Okay.
and can even connect you with local support.
Okay.
It can feel like a jungle out there,
Mm.
but you don't have to navigate it alone.
That's such a good point. It's easy to feel overwhelmed and just give up.
Right.
But having someone to guide you through the process can make all the difference.
It really can.
Yeah.
It's all about tapping into that village, that network of support,
Okay.
and it goes beyond just funding. This source really emphasizes the importance of finding meaningful daytime engagement
Right.
for young adults like Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about keeping them busy,
Right.
but helping them find a sense of purpose.
Right. The source talks about how crucial it is to avoid those custodial care situations
Yes.
where individuals are basically just being looked after without
Yeah.
any real opportunities for growth or engagement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about striking that balance, isn't it?
Okay.
Providing support while also fostering independence and a sense of agency.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where job coaching comes in, which the source highlights as being super effective.
I was so fascinated by that part. Can you tell me more about what makes job coaching so beneficial for autistic individuals?
Think of it like having a workplace mentor who truly understands the unique strengths and challenges
Yeah.
that someone on the spectrum might bring to the table.
So it's more than just skills training.
It is.
It's about navigating the social landscape of a workplace, too.
Absolutely.
Wow.
A job coach can help with things like understanding unspoken rules,
Right.
advocating for oneself,
Mhm.
and developing those crucial social skills that can sometimes be tricky.
And that ties back to what we were saying earlier about starting early, right?
Exactly.
By incorporating job readiness skills into those transition plans,
Yeah.
you're setting these young adults up for success in the long run.
You got it. It's about equipping them with the tools they need to thrive,
Okay.
both personally and professionally.
Right.
But finding the right job is only part of the equation,
Right.
right? The source also delves into the different housing models available.
Okay.
And I have to say, it really got me thinking about those inclusive settings they keep emphasizing.
Yeah, it's not always as straightforward as it sounds, is it?
It's not.
On one hand, we want to create these inclusive communities where everyone feels welcome and supported.
Right.
But on the other hand, we also have to acknowledge that some individuals might thrive in a more specialized environment,
Right.
tailored to their specific needs.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
How do we reconcile those different perspectives?
It's like trying to fit square pegs into round holes sometimes, isn't it?
It can feel that way.
We want what's best, but what does best even look like when it comes to something as personal as living arrangements?
That's the million-dollar question. And honestly, there's no single right answer.
Right.
But this source really got me thinking about how we define inclusive.
Okay.
It's not just about physical integration, right?
Right.
It's about creating a sense of belonging regardless of the setting.
So for one person, that might mean a bustling apartment building with support services nearby.
Right.
For someone else, it could be a quiet, structured group home where they feel safe and understood.
Exactly. It's about understanding the individual's needs and preferences, just like with Glenn.
Okay.
His family recognized that he needed that structured, supportive environment.
Right.
But that didn't mean shutting him off from the world.
Right.
He still had opportunities for social interaction and community involvement, just tailored to his comfort level.
Which brings up another crucial point from this source. Okay.
Advocacy.
Yes.
We can't just throw our hands up and say, well, there's no perfect solution.
No.
We have to advocate for systemic change.
We do.
For more housing options, for better funding, for all of it.
Absolutely. And that starts with connecting with others who get it.
Okay.
Join advocacy groups like Autism Speaks. Reach out to your local representatives.
Okay.
Make some noise. It can feel daunting, but your voice matters.
Right.
You're not alone in this.
It's like that saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Right.
Sometimes you have to be a little loud to get things moving.
You do.
But I think the most powerful takeaway from this whole deep dive, for me at least,
Yeah.
is the importance of centering the autistic individual's voice throughout this entire process. Couldn't agree more. We can talk all day about housing models and job coaching, but at the end of the day, it's about empowering these individuals to live self-determined lives.
And that starts with listening, truly listening to their hopes and dreams.
Yes.
Even if they don't perfectly align with our own expectations.
Right.
It's about asking, what does a fulfilling life look like to you? And really hearing the answer.
It's a journey, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And it's not always easy.
Right.
But those moments when you see that spark of excitement, that
Yeah.
sense of agency and purpose, it makes all the difference.
It reminds us why we do this in the first place.
It does.
So to our listener out there who's navigating this transition with their loved one, remember, start early.
Yeah.
Explore every avenue.
Please.
And never underestimate the power of listening.
Listen.
Your loved one's voice, their vision for their future, is the most valuable guide you have.
Beautifully said.
Really is.
It's about walking alongside them, not ahead of them,
Yeah.
as they embark on this exciting new chapter.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground, but we've just scratched the surface.
We have.
For more information, check out Cheapaba, Navigating the Transition to Adulthood for Autistic Young Adults.
Yes.
We'll link to it, along with that fantastic Autism Speaks transition toolkit, in the show notes.
Right.
Until next time, keep asking those insightful questions, and remember, the journey of lifelong learning is best shared.